Well, Ty, it's a pleasure to have this opportunity to speak to you today. Last week, you were at the Senior Bowl in Mobile. What was that experience like for you?
Man, I mean, talk about a once in a lifetime opportunity and, just to be on that big of a stage going against, I got to meet a lot of great guys who, were top in their program and top in the country. So, and I also got to, talk with a bunch of NFL coaches, tried to pick their brain, learn as much as I could in the short amount of time we were there. And man, I think, they talk about how important the interviews are and that process and just being able to you know have an early on meeting before officially meeting them at the combine type of deal. Yeah, no, it was a long week though, for sure they kept us busy from morning till about 10 o'clock at night. So
I was going to ask, so how long is a day at the Senior Bowl? What time do you get up in the morning? What time does the head hit the pillow?
yeah, so I got up around 6:30 every morning. Our first thing wasn't until 7:50, so enough time, wake the body up, go get some breakfast. Then after all that, I mean, most nights it was the last thing was at 9:45. So just having to then go grab something quick to like a little snack to eat, after doing meetings or interviews for about 3 hours. Then just to go back and take a quick shower and go right to bed.
Well, I'm here in the UK, obviously, and we can watch every day of the Senior Bowl on the NFL Network. So it's being watched all over the world. And every year, the highlights are the O line, D line drills. That's what everybody wants to watch. They're great fun to watch. What do they like to compete in, though?
I mean, it's just like a competitive kind of like you're one on one with another dude with millions of dollars looking at you basically. Like the coaches that were there said they'd never seen that big of like a outing around the one-on-ones for the offense and defensive line since they've ever been there. And so just kind of goes to show how talented both sides of the ball are in those two kind of groups in this draft. And then it's kind of like how high up on it in the draft they're trying to take guys and how important they are this year and trying to take advantage of all that.
You had an amazing Thursday practice. So when you have a great practice like that, does it give you a little bit of energy, like a spring in your step when you've sort of done the drills and you move on to whatever's next, that you've kind of feel like, well, that was a great showing.
Yeah, so I mean, my goal when I was there was just to get better each and every day, which I felt like I did. The first day, I didn't really like how my one-on-ones ended up going. It's kind of difficult because we played a position where you actually have to like physically hit someone. So in the off season, like in this past month, I haven't hit anything. And receivers, DBs, they can run routes on each other. I mean, that's not very taxing physically, on each other. But, just kind of getting used to that kind of feeling again, get the rust knocked off. I was really happy with like the team stuff though, like the team in the 9-on-7. I thought, especially with like what kind of like scheme we were running uh, for that week, really fit me well. So, I just try to take advantage as much as I can, knowing that, some of the other guys had never really played that type of defense before. So just trying to make my name, trying to make it bigger.
Jim Nagy, who obviously runs the Senior Bowl, he did a podcast a few weeks ago, and he mentioned that Scott McCloughan, the former NFL GM, was a big fan of yours. And I've interviewed Scott a few times, and he's a trenches man. He loves the trenches. He knows what he's talking about as well. So if he says he likes an offensive or a defensive lineman, I always think it's worth paying attention to. Does that give you a bit of a boost when someone who is as highly regarded as Scott McCloughan, excellent talent evaluator, is offering a high opinion of your game?
Yeah, it just makes me more hungry, man, just to like be able to go out and just keep doing that. And I kind of just like I said, just get better each day. I mean, as long as 1% that I'm better than I was yesterday, then I'll take it. But to kind of feel that kind of recognition definitely gives me myself like a sense of pride, knowing that all the work I put in throughout all my college career, it's gonna pay off. And then in the end, I mean, just gonna enjoy it, man.
It looked as if, and it always does every year, that the guys who kind of, you're working together as defensive linemen throughout the week in Mobile, and you're all kind of celebrating each other's success. You're sort of getting each other going. Did you form any bonds with any other players while you were in Mobile?
Yeah, no, I mean I felt like, our whole defensive line unit came, as close as we could in a week. I really found myself close with like there's a couple guys down here that I'm working out with that got to go to the game. So just getting to see them out there definitely, strengthened that. I think it was Jamari from Oregon, Joshua Farmer from FSU, and then like a couple of edge guys who also work out here, but I never really got talked to, like David from Arkansas State. And then guys I've never met before, man, I love Junior Tafuna. Like, I mean, just fell in love with him. He's a great guy, being able to go out there. Um, Aeneas Peebles, it was awesome to play with him. And yeah, they did have Iowa defensive lineman on our team as well. So Nebraska and Iowa, big rivalry there. Got to be, you know, come buddies with him, and it was cool. Like we kind of, made jokes with each other throughout the week just about that, the rivalry and stuff. And yeah, like Darius Alexander. I mean, just being able to meet these guys who play all over the country, and like Darius plays in the MAC, like just watching them compete and be good at what they do. Like I'm trying to learn as much as I can from them when I see them doing their reps as well.
Final Senior Bowl question. Who were the toughest offensive linemen that you faced while you were in Mobile?
Yeah, so like on our team, like Gray's Evil, he was pretty good. And then one dude that kind of shocked me a little bit was I don't know his name, but he's like a center guard on the American team. He's from UNC. He's about, I don't know, he's probably maybe 6 foot 6'1", somewhere around there. He was a challenge to go against in the game. And I let him know after too. I said, you're a pretty good ball player, bud.
Willie Lampkin, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's interesting. He's like 5'11" and something. But is that tough? Because he's so the leverage, I imagine, is pretty good for him.
That, and like I think I think he's pretty athletic as well. And I think he's really good with his hands. Like I remember, like the very first play I had to go against him, it was a pass. And it was a three technique, and I ended up having to go into the slide because the slide slid to me. And I kind of wasn't ready because I was like, this guy's just walking back, and then all of a sudden he punched my arm like this, and thankfully there was like a flag or something, because otherwise he literally yanked, and I just went whoop, and I went down, and I was like, I told him after, I said, you only got to do that because I stopped going because of the whistle. But that man caught me off guard for a second. So after that, I was like, all right, I got to be ready for him.
There's quite a lot of the things that stand out on your tape, but I wanted to ask you about a couple of things in particular. So, your intensity and passion for the football is pretty obvious. You play with violence, but you've combined it with a lot of quickness as well. There's this one play that stood out against Colorado that I wanted to ask you about, and I noticed that you did the same kind of stuff in the game in Mobile as well. You're lined up over the left guard, right off the snap. You've exploded over to the center's right shoulder, and you've got the opportunity to sort of shoot that gap, get to the quarterback. The right guard comes across, tries to help the center. So you've got two guys you've got to get through at that point, and you've just forced your way through those two blockers to get to Shedeur Sanders and make the sack. Can you remember that play? Can you sort of give us your take on how it all unfolded, and how much does that kind of show what you're going to bring to the NFL? You've got that quickness, you've got that sort of twitchy ability to shift across and explode, but you've also got that power to finish and get to the quarterback.
Yeah, so I mean, we were in a load front. We were loading it to the field. So there's three of us on the right, and then our end was the only guy over there on the left. We were trying to get the slide to come to the field, which obviously it did. And me knowing I was a really kind of like a wide shade on the center. It was more of like a pass rush package that we had in for that week. And so me going over there was just to balance out the rush, because you can't have three guys and then one dude on one side. It just doesn't work out that way. But just knowing in film, like I knew I was going to be able to like kind of take advantage of the guys up front. And that game kind of was personal because the season before, I mean, we should have won that game too, but it's a team game. So if you don't have all three going, then you're kind of done for. But I mean, just the club rip, knowing that if I stayed tight to the center, the guard wouldn't be ready for me because he was worried about the linebacker that we had kind of, you know, hovering over him. Gave me enough time just to squeeze right through. It's definitely a lot bigger than that center. Um, and yeah, I think just having that rip in there, he actually started to fall, and that's why I fall, is because he grabs onto me. And so as he falls, I fall, and I noticed Shadur right there, and I was like, I gotta get this. I gotta get this. I gotta get this. And I ended up getting it. So yeah, no, it was that was pretty like electric game, like start to the game. Like I feel like a very tone setting start to the game as well. I mean, they tried to come out and throw this weak ass, uh, you know, screen pass to the boundary or whatever, and I just knocked it down. And I was like, y'all get a full game of me this year. I don't have to sit out. I don't have to sit out because I had
Yeah,
to sit out because I got targeting. I had targeting our first game last year, so I had to sit out the first half.
yeah, I can remember that game very well. You all seem to very much enjoy that victory there, the Nebraska players. Look, you see it again and again on tape. The first step quickness to go with the power. But what is your favorite kind of pressure or sack? Is it shooting a gap, get into the backfield quickly, or do you like a bit of a battle? Do you like that bit of a, war to get through? Is that more satisfying?
I think, everyone loves to win clean. I think that's more because that just means you completely beat the dude. But I mean, most of your sacks and like pressures are going to come off of like some sort of battle, like you said, or, some sort of power rush type of deal, just pushing the pocket up there in the middle. Um, but for me, a sack's a sack. Like in my earlier years in college, like, I had one, then I had like two, and then like three, or like then one again. And then so like I for this last season knew I needed to make a really big jump and really, kind of detail up that pass rush stuff. And so that's really what I focused on throughout the whole offseason. And I think it paid out because, I got 7 sacks. That's the most I ever had. And, a lot of them were kind of those battle-esque type. I mean, just to, when you get up and you look at the offensive lineman and you go like, yeah, it's your fault. Like you lost a one-on-one type of deal. Like like you said, I play with a lot of passion. And definitely play with a lot of chips, like a chip on my shoulder, just because, it's just who I am.
And there was only one player, I think. Certainly, there was the most sacks in for an interior lineman was 8 in college football last season. So only one player has done more than you in 2024. Does it add to that achievement, given you're asked to move around a lot, aren't you? You're not just lining up in pretty much the same spot, or more or less, the same kind of role down to down. You're asked to do an awful lot and have still produced, haven't you?
Yeah, no, I loved Coach White's defense. Like I played edge in high school, so I was pretty comfortable out there. I learned a lot more of the interior stuff when I came to college, but I mean, I don't know, like out there on the edge, like you have a lot of space, you have a lot of time. But like what I love about being on the inside is just like the chaos because, all of a sudden your guy's gone and you're getting back blocked by the center out of nowhere, or all of a sudden, you're getting chopped, or all of a sudden, you're getting double team scooped. Like there's just so much and it happens so fast as compared to being out there on the edge. But, you know, if I really wanted to, like I could definitely, work on pass rush stuff on the edge. I knew that kind of wasn't what was going to be asked of me just because of the guys we had around us. Like I mean, on our 5 down stuff on third and long, like you saw me line up at the zero right across from the center, because then we let all the fast guys go off the edge. I mean, I think just that versatility really adds to my draft stock. I mean, I think being able to show that I can play inside or outside and effectively. Like a lot of coach or scouts had asked me, and I said, "Go watch Iowa, man. Like Iowa, I played a 5 technique the whole entire game, and I set the edge every single time. I'm still going to pursue to the ball, like I'm still going to try to attack it all. But I think it's just as long as you got the motor for it, and you have like just the effort. I mean, that's all you can really ask for when you play D line is that effort.
And on motor and effort, the other real thing that stood out to me was there were plays where it's 15 yards downfield and you appear in the screen and you're chasing that ball carrier down. Like, with respect, there are a lot of defensive linemen. When the battle's sort of complete in the trenches, You don't see them chasing downfield to try and make a play for the team, but you do that. What does that say about your motor, and how would you describe your motor?
Well, to me, it'd be kind of a waste. Like, I mean, the way we conditioned during the summer, like I was killing myself during the summer to get into shape. So I, might as well use it, right? I mean, that was just like who we were as a defense too. Like we wanted all 11 guys to the ball every single play, no matter what, because you never know. Like all of a sudden, ball pops out, I'm right there, or my other, Nash is right there, or, MJ, who's on the other side of the field, is right there because we're all running to the ball. And I also think it kind of sends a message too, to the offense. Like there's going to be all 11 of us almost every single time when whoever has the ball has the ball. I promise you that, and you will get hit. uh,
Listen, you, I think you fit, any team, any scheme because of your versatility. But the way I want to describe you, Ty, is, and you tell me whether this is a fair thing. I think you play like an AFC North player. You to me kind of fit that classic. I mean, you're young, a lot younger than I am. So I can remember those classic Steelers Ravens, matchups in the early 2010s.
mhm.
You're kind of like a player that kind of fits that. Do you like that kind of description?
Yeah, because so our Coach Rule is from New York, so he's an East Coast guy, and then he kind of brought in a lot more East Coast people. So, and there's a couple of guys on the D line who are like from Philly, and so kind of like getting to learn that culture and like that kind of chippiness as well. I mean, it's totally different from when I was younger in college. So I think just like the kind of attitude would fits pretty well.
Combine's next. So, what are preparations like for that? Do they start immediately after the Senior Bowl? And what is sort of like a typical week like for you as you build up to that?
Yeah, so I've actually started a bunch of us guys early January after my bowl game, and it's Monday through Saturday. It's really awesome to be working with these guys down here. I'm at Exos in Arizona, and so Monday's a leg day, kind of faster leg day, not as heavy, and then Tuesday is a chest day, more power than speed, the type of deal. Wednesday, there's no, or sorry, let me backtrack. So like, or we have lifts at 9:30, then we have speed at 1:30, and then on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday we have position like work, combine drills, all that type of stuff. So with those lifts in the morning, I'd go come home, eat my lunch. I'm grateful because they prep the food there, so I don't have to do any cooking, no shopping for me, and the food's been fantastic. Then I'll go back for that kind of run, kind of teaching the technique on the 40 and like kind of all those drills, just getting faster. And then for the first month, those position work drills were more for like football drills, getting ready for the Senior Bowl, stuff like that. But now that the Senior Bowl is over with, now it's more of like combine drills, and it's kind of crazy to think because like now that's over with, we only have like I leave in 2.5 weeks to go out there to the combine. So it's like, well, shit, like I better get in gear, make sure I got everything, finalized before I go up there.
Have you watched the combine? Because as someone who's has been watching it for since it was pretty much on the NFL Network, I'm just fascinated to watch it. I just wonder because for the people who have actually sort of grown up and they play the sport and they get a chance to compete at the combine, have you kind of watched it and ever thought, pictured yourself running a 40, pictured yourself doing the drills at the combine?
Nah, not when I was younger. We were more of like a basketball family when I was younger. I didn't really get that much into like college football till like I started getting recruited in high school. But as I watched like throughout the years in college, like that was one of my goals was to at least just get there and to prove myself to the NFL why I belong in the NFL type of deal. And now that once I got that invite, it's just made me more motivated to go out there and prove that I'm better than where they might have me picked at or where they have me ranked or whatever like that. Because to me that doesn't matter. Like if you can play ball, you can play ball. So in my mind, I'm like I just need one opportunity. That's all I need.
I always finish with the same three final questions. Give me the name of a teammate. Either it doesn't have to be somebody who is eligible for this draft either. It could be somebody who's going to enter the NFL. next year, year after, whatever you want. Just give me a name of a teammate who you think deserves more attention from Nebraska.
Definitely, I got two, and that'd be Nash, Hutmaker, and then MJ Sherman. Definitely, I'm more MJ than Nash because me and Nash being kind of like a duo on the line. That's kind of how we were put out in the media was as a duo. But I think MJ, deserves a lot more credit. He made a big jump from uh, the year previous to this last year in production and his football capabilities. And he's just one of the hardest working people I know, who's very passionate and determined once he puts his mind to a goal that he wants, and that being to make it to the NFL. So I know he's working his tail off down there in Georgia where he's working out.
What will draft day be like for you? Getting that call, becoming an NFL player, and who are you going to be with on that day?
Yeah, I'll be around family. Hopefully, I get a chance to go to Green Bay and kind of sneak my way up there to enjoy that experience. But if not, I'll just be around family. I'll have my girlfriend there, her family. Just to get that call would be so surreal. I've been through a lot in my life. I lost my dad when I was 12 to non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So just knowing that, being able to take that next step and making, our family proud and, representing the last name really well. And then just to go and, attack the NFL like I would any other thing that I know and just keep it up.
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure that your dad would be proud of the way that you played in Nebraska. Just unbelievable performance there in college, and I've no doubt that you're going to take that into the NFL as well. And the final question is, what is the team that drafts Ty Robinson? What are they going to get?
Yeah, they're I'm loyal to the core, man. Like, I stayed at Nebraska all 6 years, through the ups and downs. Like, rough waters don't scare me to jump ship type of deal. The work ethic and the discipline I think that I have will tremendously be a positive effect for any organization that picks me up. And I'm just kind of a head down kind of guy and grind it out. Like I want to like learn new things. I want to get better at the things that I'm already kind of good at. I want to understand my weaknesses more so I can, make them more strengths than anything. I just all around, I'm a great guy. Like I'm friendly. I'm easy to talk to. I'm a good guy to have in the locker room. I got to know, any age in our locker room, being a 6 year, I'm about 5 years older than all these guys. So, but being able to build relationships with those guys and get to know where they're from and, why they chose to come to Nebraska and, kind of help lead them in a way to understand how Nebraska football, how much it means to me and, to the state and to the players on the team as well.
Well, Ty, I've been doing this since 2008, and it is so much better to be able to throw on tape and watch a guy who plays with his heart in his sleeve like you do, produces, goes to the Senior Bowl, does everything, doesn't go home after 2 days, is going to go to the combine, is going to give everything in the NFL. And all I say is I wish you the best of luck with your NFL career. I think you're going to have a great career, and I very much look forward to watching you at the next level.
I appreciate it, Rob. Thank you.